Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Arum Anissa Fitri, majoring accounting, and this is my English conversation video to fulfill English for accounting assignment. Happy watching!
Hi Arum.
Hi Rina, long time no see. Take a seat please.
Thank you. I'm sorry for taking up your time.
It's okay. I have like 2 hours spare time before the third class begins. So what's going on?
I'm so stressed out. I have to decide on my college major soon, but I have no idea what I want to do.
I understand. It's a big decision. What are you interested in?
I'm good at math and I enjoy problem solving.
Have you considered about accounting?
Yes, I have. I've been hearing a lot about accounting lately, but I don't really know much about it. As an accounting student, can you give me a basic overview?
Okay, absolutely we know. Basically, accounting is about understanding how business use their money. We can learn how to track income and expense, prepare financial statement, and analyze financial data.
So it's basically just about money, right?
Well, yes and no. It's about understanding how money flows through a business. We look at things like revenue, expenses, and profit.
What's that mean?
How much money is coming is revenue. How much is going out is expense. And what's left over is a profit.
Oh, got it. So it's like keeping track of a company finances?
Exactly. We learn about different accounting principles and how to apply them in the real world situation. It's a challenging field that requires analytical and critical thinking skill.
What kind of jobs can you get with an accounting degree?
There are many career paths. You could become a public accountant, work for a corporation in their finance department, or even start your own business. You could also specialize in areas like auditing, taxation, or forensic accounting.
That's so really interesting. So what kind of things do accountants actually do on a daily basis?
It varies depending on the role. Some accountants prepare financial statements, analyze the financial data, audit financial reports, provide tax advice, and even help business with budgeting and forecasting. There is also management accounting when they help business make strategic decisions by analyzing cost and performance.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of responsibility.
Definitely. Accounting involves a lot of calculation and analysis. But don't worry, it's more about logic and problem solving than just crunches of numbers. For example, accountants must be able to identify trends, interpret data, and make recommendations based on their findings.
How cool! I'm really into logical thinking, so that sounds like a great fit. But what about the tools they use? Are they doing everything by hand, or is there technology involved?
Technology plays a huge role in accounting in this day. Accounting use special software like QuickBooks, Xero, or SAP to manage financial data. These tools make it easier to organize large amount of information, run calculation, and generate reports. They also help with tasks like tax filings and ensuring compliance with financial regulation.
Wow, that's a lot of variety. Are there any specific qualifications or certifications needed to become an accountant?
Yes, most accountants need a degree in accounting or related field. Some go even further by getting certified, like becoming a CPA, certified public accountant. A CPA designation can open up more opportunities, especially in public accounting or auditing. Continuing education is also important as the field evolves with new laws and technologies.
I'll definitely look into it more. It seems like it could be a career that combines everything I enjoy. Thanks for explaining it to me, Arum.
No problem, Wina. I'm happy to help you. If you have any other question or want more details about accounting, feel free to ask me.
I will. Thanks again, Arum. I'm excited to learn more about it.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Mina, and I'm first year accounting student.
Hi, I'm Arum. It's great to meet you. I recently graduated with an accounting degree. I'm working as a junior finance staff in PwC, and I'm happy to answer your question you have.
Cool. Anyway, I'm really interested in pursuing a career in accounting, but I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed by all the different options. I'm not sure if I should focus on audit, taxation, or maybe a role in corporate finance.
Don't worry, it's a common dilemma. Each path has its own unique challenge and rewards. Let's break it down.
Okay, that will be great.
Audit involves reviewing financial statements to ensure they are accurate and comply with accounting standards. You'll be digging deep into a company's financial records, looking for any discrepancy or irregularity. It requires strong analytical and investigating skill.
I've heard that being an auditor can be challenging. Is it as difficult as everyone says?
It's definitely requires dedication and hard work. There's a lot of material to learn and you need to be detail oriented. But if you are willing to put in the effort, it's a very rewarding.
I see. So it could be a quite challenging and rewarding.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll be working closely with clients, often in a high pressure situation, but it can be fulfilling to uncover potential issues and help companies to maintain their financial integrity.
What about taxation?
Taxation focuses on helping individual and business comply with tax laws. You'll be advising clients on the strategies, preparing tax returns, and potentially representing them in tax and audit.
That sounds interesting, but maybe a bit less intense than auditing.
It can be less intense, but I still require a strong understanding of complex tax laws and regulation. The tax code is constantly changing, so you will need to stay updated on the latest development.
And what about corporate finance?
In corporate finance, you'll be involved in the financial decision-making process within a company. This could involve things like financial planning and analysis, budgeting, and managing cash flow.
So it's more about the internal financials operation of a company?
Exactly. You'll be working closely with senior management to make strategic financial decisions that will impact the company's overall success.
What about certification? Are those important too?
Yes, getting certified like becoming a CPA can significantly enhance your career prospect and credibility in the industry.
I see. What are some of the most rewarding aspects of being an accountant?
I enjoy the problem solving aspect. Every day brings new challenges and the opportunity to find creative solutions. I also appreciate the stability and the potential for career growth.
What advice would you give to me as a freshman on accounting major?
Gain as much practical experience as possible. Internships are invaluable. Also develop strong communication and internship skill. Accounting isn't just about numbers. It's about working with people.
Oh, thank you so much for your time and advice, Arum. This has been very helpful.
You are welcome, Wina. I encourage you to do some research and explore different areas of accounting to see what interests you most.
I think I'm leaning towards corporate finance. I enjoy working with teams and contributing to the overall success of an organization.
That's great, but I encourage you to explore all of this area. Consider shadowing professional in each field, reading industry publications, and attending informational sessions to get a better understanding of what each role entails.
Thank you so much for your time and insights. Uh, this has been incredibly helpful.
You are welcome, Rina. I wish you a better career in your career exploration.
Thank you so much. Hi Arum.
Hi, Rina. What's up?
Thank you for meeting me, Arum. I'm really interested in pursuing my career in bookkeeping, but I'm not sure what it entails.
No problem at all. Bookkeeping is the foundation of any business financial help. It recording of past financial data to make the future business decision.
So, what a bookkeeper will actually do?
Basically, it all takes a simple 5 steps of bookkeeping process.
Okay, so can you elaborate them for me?
Sure, the first step is to gather all of the source documents every time the money enters or leaves the business. It needs to be recorded, so we should together source document like invoice, sales order, and receipt. All of these documents have a date, buyer or seller, and the amount of product or service that was provided to be recorded. But now, most of people rely on bank account or credit card statement to give the information.
Oh, that seems like a lot to keep track of.
It can be. But that's where the importance of organization and accuracy come in. Bookkeepers use a various methods to ensure everything is recorded correctly.
Okay, noted.
Step 2. Classify your transaction into a specific category. Do you know the 5 main categories?
Yes, I do. Asset, liability, equity, revenue, and expenses.
Great. And do you know which category a transaction belongs to?
Yes, I do know several of them. Like cash will be in an asset, future obligation will be considered in liability, equity increases with revenue and capital contributions, the sales of product and service will be considered in revenue, and the cost to generate the revenue will be considered expenses.
Well, great. I think you already know the step 2 thoroughly. Next, we are moving on to the next step, which is reconcile your transaction. To make each transaction is accounted for, did you know the ideas of reconciling?
As far as I know, it's about matching all of transactions in my bank statement towards my book or accounting software.
Correct. It's actually as simple as that. Because when you are dealing with number or thousand of transaction, it can be easy to double count and minus any of them. So reconcile help you to catch all of those errors.
Yes, you're right.
Okay, next, step 4 is preparing financial statement. This is a process of adding, classify, and reconciling your transaction. Provide the input of financial statement. There are 3 main financial statements that should be prepared. Do you know what are these?
Balance sheets, income statement, and cash flow, isn't it?
Correct. But remember, asset on the balance sheet must be equal to liabilities plus equity. If it's not, your balance sheet is out of balance.
Okay.
Income statement contains revenue and expense. It tells you how profitable you are during a certain period.
Okay.
And what cash flow statement shows?
It shows how transactions from balance sheet and income statement affect my cash account, isn't it?
Great, I think you already know about it. Okay, let's move on to the final step. It is basically about review your financial statement and then take the advantage of the insight they provide. So you can review about your business, if it's more profitable than the last year or not. Therefore, you can get a conclusion and make decision based on the data for your business improvement.
Oh, I see. Thank you so much for your explanation. It helps me a lot, Arum.
With my pleasure. Anyway, based on my explanation, what are some of the benefits of the career in bookkeeping?
Well, I think it's a stable field with consistent demand, Businesses of all sizes need someone to manage their finances. Plus, I can work remotely or even start my own bookkeeping business.
That sounds appealing. I think you could be a good fit for this field.
I wish I could be too. Thank you so much, Arum.
You're welcome, Ina. If there are any other questions, feel free to ask.
Yes, thank you. Hi Arum, so actually I've been a little bit confused about the difference between tax accounting and GAAP. Can you explain it to me?
Sure, Ina. So, what do you want to know?
First, can you remind me what is GAAP exactly?
Generally accepted accounting principle is a set rule by a regulatory group known as the International Financial Accounting Standard. Is a standard for how financial information is reported to external users like investor and creditor. It focuses on providing a fair and accurate picture of a company's financial performance.
I see. So what about tax accounting?
Tax accounting focuses on determining a company's or individual tax liability and ensuring compliance with tax law. It's all about minimizing tax burden while staying within the legal framework. Tax accounting guidelines are set by the government.
Got it. So can you tell me of the key difference about tax accounting and the GAAP?
Sure. A significant difference between GAAP and tax accounting is the motivation for creating the guideline for each method. The GAAP method has been built and expanded with the purpose of ensuring financial reporting is fair and accurate. As tax accounting is a government-led system, it tends to be tied with political motivation.
So they have different goals?
Exactly. GAAP aims to provide a fair and accurate picture of a company's financial performance. Tax accounting aims to minimize tax liability while ensuring compliance with tax regulation.
That makes sense. So does that mean the number will always different?
Yes, often. GAAP and tax accounting use different rules for recognizing revenue, expense, and other financial items. This can lead to difference in reported income and expenses.
Are there any specific examples of these differences?
Yes, there is an example. GAAP may require a company to recognize revenue when it's earned, even if the cash has been received yet, while tax accounting, on the other hand, often recognize revenue when it's actually received.
I got it. But thinking to the career path, pay and benefits, how do they differ?
While both fields offer competitive salaries and benefit packages, but there are some key distinctions. Career path, tax accounting, you can work for public accounting firms, especially in tax preparation and planning. You can also work in-house for corporation handling their tax affairs. GAAP accounting, you can work in various roles within corporate finance department, such as financial reporting, analyzing, and budgeting. The pay and benefits for tax accounting can be highly competitive, especially during the tax season. GAAP accounting salary in corporate finance role can be also competitive, with opportunities for bonuses and stock options. Benefit package are generally comparable to those offered in tax accounting. The tax accounting work-life balance can be challenging, especially during tax season, which often involves long hours, while GAAP accounting work-life balance can be varied depending on the specific role and company.
So it really depends on my individual preference and career goals.
Absolutely, yes. Consider your personality, interests, and risk tolerance. Do you enjoy complex problem solving and thrive in a fast-paced environment? Tax accounting might be a good fit. Are you more interested in strategic financial planning and working closely with management? GAAP accounting could be a better option.
That's incredibly so helpful, Arum. Thank you for taking the time to explain it to me.
You are welcome, Mina. I encourage you to explore both fields further, and good luck for your future career.
Okay, thank you so much. Hi Arum, thank you so much for coming in today. We are so excited to learn about your background.
Thank you for having me, Mina. I'm excited to be here too.
So, tell me, why are you interested in management accounting?
Thank you for asking. I've always been fascinated by the way business operate, particularly the strategic decisions that drive growth and efficiency. Management accounting is where I see the intersection of financial analysis and decision making, and that really excites me.
That's great to hear. Can you tell me about a time when you had to analyze a complex financial situation and make a recommendation?
Sure. During my internship at a consulting firm, I was assigned to analyze the financial performance of a small business in the retail sector. The company was struggling with profitability and they needed a fresh perspective. I conducted a thorough analyzing using financial ratios such as ROI, return on investment, gross profit margin, and liquidity ratios. By comparing this against industry benchmarks, I was able to pinpoint areas where they were underperforming, like inventory management and unnecessary overhead costs. I also identified opportunities for revenue growth through product diversification and improved pricing strategies. I compiled all of my findings into a comprehensive report and presented it to the client, making sure to break down the financial data into actionable steps. They were able to implement some of the recommendations, which resulted in a noticeable improvement in their profitability in the next few months.
That sounds like an impactful project. It's impressive that you were able to work on such a complex analysis and provide practical recommendations. Can you tell me about a time when you had to work with a team to achieve a common goal?
Absolutely. One experience that stands out was when I was part of the accounting club at my university. We are organizing a charity event and I work closely with a group of peers to create budget for the event. I was responsible for analyzing past event budget and projecting costs based on different scenarios like different venue and expected attendance number. It was a great example of teamwork where everyone contributed their expertise and we were all aligned towards the same objective.
That's excellent example of teamwork and the kind of collaborative mindset we value. It's clear that you have both the analytical and teamwork skills that we are looking for. So, do you have any questions for me about the role or the company?
Yes, I do. Honestly, I would love to understand how I would able to contribute to the growth of this company.
That's a great question. We are currently in a period of significant growth, and the management accounting team plays a crucial role in supporting that. We are involved in providing detailed financial analysis to inform strategic decision making. For instance, we help us assess the financial feasibility of new projects, analyze cost structures, and identify opportunities for investment. As the firm company grows, it's critical to have solid financial data to guide decisions on everything from capital expenditures to market expansions. The teamwork is closely with senior management to ensure that financial insights are integrated into the company's overall strategy.
That sounds like an exciting and impactful role. Thank you for providing the insight into the company's future. I'm really excited about the possibility of joining your team and contributing to these efforts.
Very excited about the possibility of you joining us as well. Your background and skills are impressive, and it sounds like you'd be great fit to the role.
Thank you again for this opportunity. I really appreciate the chance to learn more about the company, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.
Yeah, it was a pleasure speaking with you, Arum. We'll be in touch soon. Take care.
Thank you.
Hey Arum, actually, I'm really interested in how technologies has changed the world of financial reporting. Can you tell me more about it?
Absolutely, Wina. Technology has revolutionized the way we handle finance. Just think about it. Before computers, everything was done manually. Ledgers, spreadsheet, the whole 9 yards. It was time consuming and prone to errors. The introduction of computers and software has drastically improved both the speed and accuracy of financial tasks, transforming and the entire industry.
I can imagine. So, what are some of the biggest changes you have seen?
Well, for starters, automatization has become a game changer. Software like ERP system and automate many tasks like data entry, reconciliation, and even generating financial statement. This is not only save time but also reduce the risk of human error.
That sounds incredibly efficient. What else has changed?
Another major shift is the rise of data analytics. Today, we can analyze a vast amount of data in real time, which was nearly impossible before. We use advanced business intelligence software to uncover trends, spot anomalies, and make more informed data-driven decisions. Tools like machine learning and artificial intelligence are also increasingly being used to predict future trends, asset risk, and offer insight that were previously hard to capture.
That's fascinating. So, all this data can really give us a clearer picture of companies' financial health.
Exactly, and what's even more exciting is that the speed at which we can analyze this data has also drastically improved. We can now provide real time insight which help business respond to change faster than ever before.
I've heard about blockchain technology too. Does that play a role in financial reporting?
Absolutely. Blockchain has the potential to revolutionize financial reporting by enhancing the accuracy and security of financial transaction. Each transaction is recorded in a secure, immutable ledger, which makes fraud harder to commit. Blockchain can also enhance transparency as every transaction is visible and traceable.
Hmm. It's like the technology has made financial reporting much efficient and accurate.
Definitely, it's made the process faster, more reliable, and easier to track. But while technology handles much of the heavy lifting, it is important to note that it's not a complete replacement for human expertise. Automation and AI might be able to crunch number and provide insights, but skilled professionals are still needed to interpret the data, ensure its accuracy, and make the right decision based on that data.
I see. So the human element is still crucial, right?
Great technology empowers us to handle larger volume of data to more efficiently, but the critical thinking, professional judgment, and ethical consideration that humans bring to the table are irreplaceable.
That makes a lot of sense. Thanks for explaining how technology has shaped the financial reporting landscape, Arum. It's clear that while technology offers a lot of advantage, the role of human expertise is as important as ever.
Yeah, you're right, Lina. You're welcome. And but the end of the day, it's the human touch that ensure we use it probably efficiently and effectively.
Thank you.
Hey Rina, how's your week? Any interesting audit lately?
It was pretty hectic. I'm currently working on an audit for a tech startup. It's a fast growing company, so there's a lot of data to sift through. A lot of moving parts and some tight deadlines, but it's exciting.
Sounds challenging. How are you finding it?
It's definitely a learning experience. I'm still getting used to the pace and complexity of this engagement. The startup world is much more dynamic than what I'm used to, so there's always something new to consider. But I'm learning a lot and I'm enjoying the challenge. It's pushing me to think on my feet.
That's great to hear. I remember when I was a junior, I was always overwhelmed with the amount of work, but you get used to it after a while.
I hope so. The workload feels a bit overwhelming at times, but I'm sure with time it will get easier. How about you, Arum? What kind of audits are you working on these days?
I'm currently leading an audit for a large manufacturing company. It's a complex engagement and multiple location and subsidiaries. It's definitely keeping me busy, but I enjoy the responsibility. Managing different aspects of the audit while coordinating with various teams is a lot of work, but it's very fulfilling.
That sounds like a major undertaking. What's the most challenging part of your role?
I would say managing expectation. Clients can be demanding. It is important to maintain a good working relationship while ensuring the audit is conducted thoroughly and efficiently. Balancing timelines and ensuring the quality of work doesn't slip under pressure can be tricky at times.
I can imagine that. It sounds like you've got a lot of responsibility on your plate. Do you have any advice for someone just starting out in auditing like me?
Definitely. First, pay attention to detail, as even the smallest oversight can lead to the bigger issues down the line. Ask a lot of questions. No one expects you to know everything, and there's always something to learn. Also, don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. And most importantly, stay organized. Keeping track all of all the information and staying on top of tasks will help you manage your workload more efficiently.
Thanks for the advice, Arum. I'll definitely keep that in mind. The detail can really get overwhelming sometimes.
No problem, Wina. Just remember, auditing can be a rewarding career. You get to learn about different business, develop strong analytical skills, and play a crucial role in maintaining financial integrity. It's not always easy, but it's very satisfying when you see the bigger picture and know that you have contributed to something important.
I'm looking forward to growing in this field. Thanks for the chat, Arum. It's been really helpful.
With my pleasure, Wina. It's great to catch up. Let's grab coffee again soon. It's always good to chat with someone who is in the same field like you.
Definitely, I'll reach out soon. Thanks again, Arum.
How about we meet next week in this place again?
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, don't forget to chat me, yeah?
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Hey Arum, I'm so excited. I'm finally going on that trip to Europe I've been planning for months.
Wow, that's awesome. Where are you going?
I'm planning to visit Italy, France, and Spain. I'm really looking forward to experiencing the culture and trying the food.
That sounds amazing. Those are such beautiful countries. Have you started budgeting for your trip yet?
I have rough idea, but I'm not sure if I'm being realistic. I'm worried about overspending.
Don't worry, I can help you with that. The first thing you need to do is figure out your total budget. This will help you determine how much you can spend on each part of your trip.
How do I do that?
You can start by listing all of your estimated expense such as transportation, accommodation, food, activities, or souvenir. Once you have a list, you can start adding up the cost.
That's a good idea. I'll start making a list right now, but what if I forget something?
It's okay if you don't get everything down right away. Just start with the big expenses first, like flights, hotels, train tickets. Then add smaller things like entrance fees, meals, and shopping. If you think of anything later, you can always edit it to the list.
That makes sense. Should I leave some extra money for emergencies?
Of course, it's always a good idea to set aside a small of emergency fund just in case. I would recommend at least 10 until 15% of your total budget for unexpected expenses.
I hadn't thought of that. I'll make sure to include it. What about currency exchange? Should I do it before I leave?
That depends. It's usually cheaper to exchange some money before you go, just so you have cash when you arrive. But for larger amounts, you might get better rates using an ATM in Europe. Just check with your bank about this.
Got it. I'll look into that. I also need to figure out how to avoid overspending.
One helpful tip is to break down your budget into daily or weekly amounts. This will help you stay on track and avoid overspending.
That's a great idea. I'll also try to use cash as much as possible to avoid impulse purchase.
That's a smart move. Using cash can help you stay disciplined with your spending. You could even keep envelopes with set amounts of money for each day or activity.
I like the idea. That way I wouldn't be tempted to dip into the rest of my budget.
Exactly. And don't forget to use travel apps or spreadsheet to track your spending while you're there. That way, you will always know where you stand financially.
I hadn't thought about that either. I'll look into some apps tonight.
Good call. Also, try to plan most of your activities and booking ahead of time. That way, you will have a better idea of cost and won't run into last-minute surprises.
That's true. I guess planning it at advance will help me stick to the budget too.
It definitely will. Plus, booking early often means cheaper tickets and better deals.
Thanks so much for all these tips, Arum. I feel much more confident about budgeting for my trip now.
You're welcome, Wina. I'm sure you will have an amazing time. Just remember to stick your budget, take lots of photos, and most important, enjoy your moment.
I will, and I'll make sure to bring you back a souvenir.
Thank you. I will help you that. Safe travels, Wina.
Thanks, Arum. I can't wait. Hey, Arum. I was looking at our salary data the other day, and it seems like we are a bit behind the curve on some of our higher level positions compared to our competitors.
Yeah, I noticed that too. It's tough to attract and retain top talent when we are not offering competitive compensation.
Exactly, and it's not just about base salary. We need to consider the whole compensation package, including things like bonus, stock options, and benefits.
Absolutely. But we also need to think about other ways to attract and retain employees. Things like professional development opportunities, flexible work arrangement, and, well, let's be honest, some fun perks.
You're right, corporate entertainment can be a great way to boost morale and show employees that we appreciate them, but it's important to do it right.
Definitely. We need to make sure our entertainment budget is aligned with our overall compensation strategy. And we need to choose events that are relevant to our employees and that we can actually afford.
I agree. Maybe we could start by surveying our employees to see what kind of events they would actually enjoy, and we could also look for more creative and cost-effective ways to entertain them.
That's a great idea. We could also consider partnering with local business to offer discounts or exclusive events to our employees.
Yeah, partnerships could give us access to special deals or venues we might not otherwise afford. We could also look into themed events like holiday parties, trivia nights, or outdoor activities.
I like that. And we could rotate the types of events to keep things fresh. Some formal or some casual. That way we would appeal to a broader range of employees.
Exactly. And we shouldn't forget virtual events too. They are cost effective and a lot of people still appreciate the flexibility of online gatherings.
Good point. Maybe we could do a mix, some in person or and some virtual to accommodate different preferences. And what about wellness program? Things like yoga classes, fitness challenge, or mental health workshop could also double as an entertainment and support employee well-being.
That's a great idea. We could bundle wellness programs into the overall package. It did show that we are not just focused on work but also care about our employees' well-being.
And it could help reduce stress, which might even boost productivity. We could also look into offering professional growth perks like conference passes, certification reimbursement, or access to online learning platforms.
Right, with be investing in their growth, which could also help with uh, retention. Plus, if employees feels like they are learning and growing, they are less likely to leave for another job.
Exactly. And speaking of growth, mentorship programs might be another angle we should consider. Pairing employees with experienced mentor could boost engagement and loyalty.
I like that. So let's recap. We will start by gathering employees' feedback to see what they value most. Then we will look into affordable entertainment options, wellness programs, professional development, and mentorship opportunities.
Yeah, and don't forget partnership with local business. Discounts or exclusive event could add even more value.
Good point. We'll also need to benchmark against competitors' compensation package to make sure we are aligned with market trends.
I'll start gathering the data on and employee preferences. Maybe we can also send out a quick survey next week to get some initial feedback.
Sounds good. I'll focus on researching entertainment and wellness options. Let's aim to have a draft plan ready by the end of the month.
Deal. And once we finalize our ideas, we can pitch them to HR and leadership to arrange the budget.
Perfect. I think this could really make a difference in keeping our employees happy and engaged.
Great. Let's make it happen.
Let's go. Hey Arum, I was thinking about marketing strategy circle again. It's such a classic framework, but I'm always finding new nuance to it.
Absolutely, Wina. It's a timeless model. That way, it forces you to think systematically about your target audience, their needs, your value proposition, and how to reach them is incredibly valuable.
Exactly. I was revisiting the concept of differentiation within the circle. It's not just about being unique, but about clearly communicating what makes you better than the competition in the eyes of your target customer.
That's a key point. It's about identifying your unique selling proposition or USP and making sure it resonates with your ideal customer. What's their biggest pain point and how does your product or service solve it in a way that no one else can?
And then, of course, there is positioning. How do you want to be perceived in the market? What's your brand story? Or how do you create an emotional connection with your target audience?
Positioning is crucial. It's about defining your niche and owning that space in the customer's mind. Think about it. You are the most affordable option, the most luxurious, the most innovative, or the most trusted.
Exactly. And I think storytelling plays such a big role in this. People don't just buy products, they buy experience, identities, and emotions. A strong narrative can make your positioning so much more memorable.
Absolutely. Storytelling is one of the most powerful tools in marketing. It humanizes your brand and make it relatable. When people see themselves in your story, they are more likely to connect with and trust your brand.
I'm also fascinated by but how marketing strategy circle emphasize customer centricity. It's not just about what you want to say, but what your customer need to hear.
Exactly. The entire circle revolves around understanding and meeting customer needs. It's a constant feedback loop. You need to gathering data on your customer, their behavior, and their preference is to ensure your strategy remains relevant. So it's all about building relationship, not just pushing your products.
Speaking of relationships, I think retention strategies often get overlooked. Businesses focus so much on acquiring new customers that they sometimes forget the value of keeping ones happy.
That's such a good point. Retention is often more cost effective than acquisition, and loyal customers can become your biggest advocates. That's why tools like email marketing, loyalty programs, and referral incentives are so important.
Exactly. And speaking of loyalty, I've been thinking a lot about brand consistency. The circle highlights how important it is to maintain a consistent tone, style, and message across all platforms.
Because consistency builds trust, right? Whether it's your website, social media, email, or ads, everything should feel cohesive and reinforce your brand identity. Customers should instantly recognize your voice.
Absolutely. And finally, the action plan. It's not enough to just have a brilliant strategy. You need to translate it into concrete, measurable actions. How will you reach your target audience? What marketing channels will you use? What is your budget? And what are your key performance indicators or KPIs?
Exactly. The action plan is where the rubber meets the road. Without a well-defined plan, your strategy will remain just an idea. And remember, the marketing strategy circle is one time exercises. It's ongoing process of review, analysis, and adaptation.
That's so true. The market is constantly changing. Customer behavior, trends, and even economic conditions evolve. You cannot afford to set your strategy and forget it. It needs to be reviewed regularly.
Absolutely. And that's why metric and analysis are so critical. Are you reaching the right audience? Are they engaging with your message? What's your conversation rate? All of these insights help you refine your approach.
I couldn't agree more. It's a dynamic thing that helps businesses stay agile and competitive in today's ever-changing marketplace. I'm excited to keep exploring new ways to apply it.
Hmm. Let's plan a session next week to brainstorm ideas and see how we can refine some of our current strategies.
Sounds like a plan. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. The pace of change in this field is insane. When I remember when we were still doing everything by hand. Now it's all AI, machine learning, and blockchain.
Tell me about it. I think the biggest shift will be towards more advisory roles. Clients will not just want us to crunch numbers, they will want us to be strategic partners that helping them make better business decisions.
Absolutely. We will need to be expert in data analysis, risk management, and even things like cybersecurity. The traditional pin counter image has long gone.
I'm also seeing a huge rise in automation, like things like robotic process automation or RPA are already handling many of the repetitive tasks, freeing us up for higher level work.
That's a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's great for efficiency, but on the other hand, it means we need to constantly upskill to stay relevant.
Definitely. I'm thinking about taking some course in data science or maybe even getting a certification in blockchains. We need to embrace these technologies, not fear them.
That's a smart move. Blockchain, especially, is going to be a game changer for auditing and financial reporting. It brings so much transparency and security.
I- and let's not forget about AI. Machine learning algorithms can analyze massive datasets in seconds and even spot trends that we might miss. It's powerful, but we need to know how to interpret the outputs and validate the data.
Exactly. AI is a tool, not a replacement for judgment. We still need critical thinking skill to make sense of the insight and apply them strategically.
That's why soft skills are becoming just as important as technical ones. We need to be able to explain complex financial information to people who don't have a finance background, like CEOs, board members, and investors.
Totally. Communication is huge. And storytelling with data is part of that. It's not enough to just present number anymore. We need to weave them into a narrative that helps stakeholders understand what's happening and why it matters.
Right, and I think we also have to step up as problem solvers. It's not just about identifying issues, it's about proposing solutions and strategies to address them.
Absolutely. That's where we can really add value. And honestly, I think the changing expectations are a good thing. It gives us a chance to step out of the back office and into more of a real leadership role.
I couldn't agree more. We are becoming business advisors, not just record keepers. That's an exciting evolution, but it also means we need to keep learning and adapting.
Speaking of adapting, I think sustainability reporting is another area we can ignore. Companies are under more pressure than ever to support NSG, environmental, social, and government factors.
Good point. ESG reporting is already big and it's only going to grow. Investors want transparency, and regulators are pushing for stricter standards. We need to be ready to help businesses track and report on those metrics accurately.
And not just in ESG, there are also growing focus on ethics and compliance. With so many high-profile scandals in recent years, business need accountants who can ensure integrity and build trust.
Absolutely. Ethics will always be at the core of what we do, but now we are adding new layers like data privacy and cybersecurity compliance. It's not just about protecting the numbers anymore, it's about protecting the data behind them.
Which means we need to work even more closely with IT teams. Cybersecurity threats are evolving, and financial data is prime target. Accountants can't operate in silos anymore. We have to collaborate across departments.
Exactly, it's all interconnected now. Finance, IT, compliance, HR, we are all part of the same ecosystem. And honestly, I think that collaboration makes the work more interesting.
For sure, it's challenging but also rewarding, and I think it forces us to be more adaptable. The pace of change isn't slowing down, so we have to be comfortable with learning as we go.
That's the key, being lifelong learners, whether it's new technologies, new regulations, or new business models. We need to stay curious and proactive.
Definitely. Speaking of growth, I've been meaning to check out some webinars on AI in finance. Want to join me?
Absolutely. Let's block some time for it. It's always better to stay ahead than to play catch up.
Okay.
Okay. Hey Arum, I'm having a bit of trouble wrapping my head around the difference between depreciation and amortization. They seem so similar.
No worries, it's a common question. They are similar in that they both deal with allocating the cost of an asset over time. But the key difference lies in the type of asset they apply to.
Okay, so they both spread out costs. What kind of assets are we talking about here?
Depreciation applies to tangible assets, things you can touch like buildings, machinery, vehicle, and equipment. Amortization, on the other hand, is for intangible assets like patents, trademark, copyrights, and goodwill.
Oh, I see. So depreciation is for physical stuff and amortization is for non-physical stuff. But why do we even need to spread out the costs?
Good question. It's all about matching expenses to the revenue they help generate. Instead of recording the entire cost of an asset in the year you buy it, you spread it out over its useful life to better reflect how it contributes to earnings.
Got it, that makes sense. But how do we figure out how much to depreciate or amortize each year?
For depreciation, we often use methods like a straight line depreciation, where you deduct the same amount each year, or declining balance, where you deduct more in the earlier years. For amortizations, we almost always use the straight line method because intangible assets tend to lose value evenly over time.
Okay, so depreciation has more flexibility with methods, but amortization is simpler. What about salvage value? I remember hearing something about that.
Exactly. Salvage value is what you expect an asset to be worth at the end of its useful life. Depreciation calculation often considers salvage value, especially with tangible assets. But amortization typically doesn't. Most intangible assets are assumed to have the residual value by the time their useful life ends.
Interesting. So depreciation might leave some value at the end, but amortization assumes the value goes to zero. What happens if the asset is not useful anymore before it's fully depreciated or amortized?
Good point. In that case, we recognize an impairment loss. It's like saying, oops, the asset is worth less than we thought, and we reduce its value on the books.
That's pretty logical, but can you give me an example of how depreciation and amortization are calculated?
Sure. One of the most common methods is the straight line method. For depreciation, you can take cost of assets, subtract its salvage value, and divide that by the number of years of useful life. For amortization, the process is similar, but you use the estimated useful life of the intangible assets.
So if a company buys a machine for 100 million rupiahs with a salvage value of 20 million rupiahs and a useful life of 5 years, the annual depreciation expense will be 16 million rupiahs?
Correct. And if a company acquires a patent for 500 million rupees with an estimated useful life of 10 years, the annual amortization expense would be 500 million rupees over 10 equals to 50 million rupees.
I think I'm starting to get it. So depreciation and amortization are both important accounting concepts that help us match expenses with revenue and get a more accurate picture of a company's financial performance.
Yeah, you got it. They are a crucial concept in financial accounting.
Thanks for explaining it to me, Arum. I feel much more confident about depreciation and amortization now.
No problem. I'm glad I could help.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hey Arum, I wanna ask something about accounting currency. So it's about handling different currencies. But what's the difference between functional currency and reporting currency? I keep mixing them up.
Good question. Functional currency is the primary currency a company uses for its day-to-day operation. Basically, the currency of the country where most of the business happens. Reporting currency, on the other hand, is the currency a company uses to present its financial statement, especially if it's operating internationally.
So the functional currency is like the home currency, and the reporting currency is what they use to report finances to investors or regulators.
Exactly. And sometimes they are the same, but for multinational companies, they are often different. For example, a company might operate in Mexico and use the peso as its functional currency. But if it's based in the US, it might report financial in US dollars.
Got it. But what happens if they make a sale in another currency, like euros? How do they record that?
Great question. That's where foreign currency transactions come into play. The sale would be recorded in the functional currency, but they would first convert the amount using the exchange rate on the transaction date.
Interesting, but how about translating financial statements? If a company operates in multiple countries, then don't they have to combine everything?
Exactly. That's called foreign currency translation. They take a financial statement in the functional currencies of different subsidiaries and translate them into the reporting currency. Usually, they use the current rate method or the temporal method to do this.
What's the difference between those methods?
In the current rate method, assets and liabilities are translated at the exchange rate on the balance sheet date, while income and expenses are translated at the average rate for the period. Any differences caused by fluctuations go into a separate account called cumulative translation adjustment or CTA in equity.
And the temporal method?
That one's a bit more specific. It uses historical exchange rate for asset and liabilities carried at historical cost and current rate for those carried at a current value. Gains or losses from translation go directly to the income statement instead of equity.
So the method they use depends on whether they want the gains and losses to affect income or just equity?
The method they choose often depends on how integrated the subsidiary is with the parent company. If the subsidiary operates independently, they usually use the current rate method. But if it's more closely tied to the parent, they might use temporal method.
Wow, there's so much to think about. How do companies even keep track of all these exchange rates and rules?
Most companies use accounting software that automatically updates exchange rate and handles the calculations, but accountants still have to review the reports and ensure compliance with international standards like IFRS or GAAP.
Speaking of standards, does every country follow the same rules for currency translations?
Not always. IFRS, which is used internationally, and GAAP, which is mainly used in the US, have slightly different. For example, IFRS require the current rate method for most cases, while GAAP sometimes allow more flexibility depending on the situation.
This is starting to make sense now. It is like companies have to juggle exchange rates, translation methods, and international standards all at once.
Yeah, that's why currency management is such a critical skill in accounting. It's all about balancing accuracy, compliance, and risk management.
Thank you so much, Arum. I feel a lot less overwhelmed now. I think I'll go review my notes and maybe look up some example of currency translation methods.
Great idea. And if you get stuck, you just let me know. We can tackle it together.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. When I'm really stunned by these Q3 profit numbers, we are seeing a significant dip compared to the last year, and I can't quite pinpoint the reason.
Yeah, that's definitely concerning. Have you looked at our key performance indicators? Maybe that will give us some clues.
I have. Our customer acquisition cost has remained relatively stable, and our customer lifetime value hasn't dropped drastically. So it's not like we're acquiring less profitable customers.
That's interesting. Have you considered the impact any recent marketing campaigns? Perhaps a particular campaign had a lower than expected return on investment.
I have analyzed our recent campaigns, and while some underperformed, none of them individually seem large enough to account for this significant profit decline.
Maybe it's a combination of factors. Have you looked at our cam rates?
Good point. I haven't checked that yet. Let me pull up the data. You were right. Our com rate has spiked in the last quarter. It's almost double what it was this time last year.
That could be a major contributor to the profit decline. We need to figure out why customers are leaving. Are we seeing any patterns?
Um, I'm looking into it now. I'm running a customer segmentation analysis to see if there are any commonalities among the customers.
While you are doing that, I will look into our customers' satisfaction scores. Maybe there's a correlation between declining satisfaction and increased count.
Okay. I think I found something interesting. A large portion of customers are from our older, less tech-savvy demographic.
That's intriguing. Could it be that our recent marketing efforts, which have focused heavily on digital channels, have aligned this segment?
That could be a possibility. We might need to reevaluate our marketing mix and ensure we are reaching all of our customer segment effectively.
I've also noticed a dip in our customer satisfaction scores among this same demographic. It seems they are struggling to use our new online platforms and are frustrated with the lack of in-person support.
That makes sense. We've been investing heavily in our digital presence, but we may have neglected the needs of our traditional customer base.
I think we need to present these findings to our marketing directors. We need to develop a strategy to address the increased come and improve customer satisfaction, especially among our older customers.
Absolutely. We should also propose a plan to diversify our marketing efforts and ensure we are reaching all of our target segments effectively.
I'm confident, but that with bit of tweaking and renewed focus on customer satisfaction, we can reverse this profit and get back on track.
I agree. Let's schedule a meeting with the director in the first thing tomorrow morning. What do you think?
Yes, I agree. I'm joining.
Okay, see you tomorrow.
See you.
Bye.